The polar night occurs when the sun doesn't rise above the horizon at all within the 24 hours of a day. This is a phenomenon you find within the polar circle during the winter months. How long this period lasts depends on how close to the North Pole you are. That means that you won't necessarily have 24 hours of pitch black, though most of the day might be, but there are several hours with blue hour, which can result in a great Arctic light. The moose is one of Norway's most famous animals, probably second, possibly only to the famous troll, which is extremely dangerous. The moose population has increased dramatically since the 1970s, with an estimated 30-40,000 moose born each year. So with these high numbers, it's very likely that you will encounter a moose, especially on these parts in northern Norway. And it's a lot of fun to drive around on these roads looking for moose, because they seem to be everywhere. I've never been to a place with so many moose. And the landscape as well. I mean, look at the mountain over there. Looks like a small Matterhorn, the famous mountain they have in Switzerland. And those to the left as well. Quite impressive. So, and I'm sure I'll see more moose today, because there's so many. And here's a little house surrounded by a very impressive landscape, I think. Like the mountain just over there. Looks like a big tooth, a shark tooth. And over there as well, some quite impressive mountains. Unfortunately, polar night is right around the corner, just a few days away, and I'm not going to climb or summit any mountains during the middle of the night, so I have to be patient. When summer arrives, these mountains, for sure, I'm going to try to climb some of them, or walk up. They're not all that difficult to summit. Not so many people live up here, a few houses, and people in these parts are very open and friendly. So quite a contrast to the big city. If you ever find yourself on these parts, you'll notice. But a very impressive mountain over there. And another thing, it's quite cold up here, so yeah, it shouldn't be a surprise above the Arctic Circle, but it's about 15 minus today, so it's quite cold, I think. Not as bad as further north, but still quite cold. And you have to be impressed by the view some people have. Like those people over there living in that house. They have a great view to the mountains over there. And this area, it's really the gateway to the Lofoten Islands. It's in the shadow of the more famous neighbor, the Lofoten Islands, but it's still quite spectacular over here, I think. Today I think the weather is more like normal up here. Not very good. There will be some sun today in theory, but we might not see it behind the clouds. And over here we have a lighthouse. It's a tourist attraction in the area. It's been there since the 1860s, 1864 I think. And the current construction is from 1914. So yeah, tourist attraction here. Normally you can see the Lofoten Islands over there, the Lofoten Wall. But today I don't really think I will see it, maybe later today. It's very much a classic looking lighthouse, I think. And out there in the ocean, many tragedies of course. And one comes to mind. In 1944, during the war, a civilian ship, a ferry was out there, and some British bombers mistook it for a warship, probably. They don't know exactly what happened. Anyway, the British bombed the civilian ship, and 112 people died. It's just out there, about 2 kilometers straight ahead. It's a mass grave out there. A mistake made by the British, so that can happen. And here's a great place to relax and enjoy the view when the weather permits it. Some mountains over there, but the Lofoten Islands is over there. It's a huge wall of mountains. Normally you can see it. Well, not normally, because this is the normal weather, but when the weather is perfect, you can see it. And I can imagine that during the summer, maybe some people try to do some swimming here. Maybe there's some beach life going on over here. There's the old lighthouse keeper's house. The last guy left 1991. It has been automatic since then. You can still see that it's in use. It's blinking, but automatic since 1991. And over here, the shitter. And great view from the shitter towards the mountains over there. And here's some information about the incident, which happened in 1941. This ship was sunk by the British, and most of the people died were civilians, but there were actually some Germans on board as well, so who knows exactly what happened. There's some confusion around it, whether it was done on purpose or not. Anyway, a lot of civilians were killed, so quite unnecessary that it happened, I guess. Although 35 Germans were on board as well. I guess they were soldiers. And over here we have an old whaling boat. You can see the harpoon up there. And they made it into a restaurant, pub. You can see here. So this is the place to go if you want to go out here. And I can see that it's closed. There are no footprints in the snow. So this is the place to go, I guess, for me later if I want to check out the local pub, local nightlife. And here we have some statues. It's called Coastal Women. They're looking straight into the ocean. Maybe they're thinking about their husbands, and they want them to return after a dangerous mission out there.